Hi. Sorry you can't see my face that well, but I want you to see the project more than I want you to see me. Anyway, how are you? I am excited to be back and teaching you more fashion arts. Today we're going to have a lot of fun and we are going to be doodling a tote bag. So in your kit you will find this really groovy canvas tote bag. And what I'd like you to do is stick your t-shirt cardboard right inside. That way, when you are drawing or painting on it, you will not get it through to the other side. Now, again, just like with any of these projects that have two sides, you can start with one side, which I did the other day. I did this I Love Camping tote bag. And on the back side, I am now all ready to do a new design with you. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and find your fabric markers. I'm going to put my fabric paints to the side for this one. I want you to have your fabric markers. You can have your patches. You can have your jewels. And we're going to go ahead and I want you to think of something that's super duper fun. So we were talking last week, and me and my friends, and we were talking all about what kind of fun things we like to do. So I, for one, really like to go camping. So I went ahead and I did my tote bag based on camping. So when you look at it from far away, it has a really cool look to it as far as a fashionable item. And since I've already done this one, I've heat set it, I'm all ready to think of something new for this side. So what are some other things that I really enjoy doing? Well, some of the things that I enjoy doing is I really like to make art. So take out your markers. We have lots of fun colors. There's actually 10 beautiful markers, and they will stay beautiful as long as you remember to put the caps back on. So I was just talking about art supplies, right? So one of the things that I like to use with art supplies is a palette. So this is what a palette is. You see how it's a dish and it has little like wells inside and I can put my colors in them? Well, artists often use those, and sometimes they have a shape that looks like this, and it has a little hole cut out, and that's so the artist can hold it with their thumb, and all their paints are right on this board. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that shape right here. I'm going to draw it right onto my canvas, and I'm not going to worry because I know that I'm going to heat set it later. And once I heat set it, since these are very special markers that are meant for fabric, then I know that it will stay even if I spill something on it and I have to wash it. I'm not that worried as long as I heat set it, right? Now, if you want something to be dark, you're probably going to have to go over it a few times, but that's okay. But remember, it is marker. So whatever you decide to draw in marker, well, it's going to stay there. So if you need time to think about what you want to draw before you start drawing, then go ahead and do that. So I put the cap back on my black marker, and I want to think about what color paints would I maybe have on my palette. Well, I've got some orange. So I'm making these shapes kind of like look mushy, weird shapes. And that's kind of maybe how paint would look if it was coming out of a tube. I can put some blue down, and I'm coloring it all in because it's supposed to look like paint, right? So I've got some blue, I've got some pink, which I love. So I'm going to go ahead and put some pink on my palette. Can you see how this is starting to look like an artist painter's palette now? Let's see, we also have purple. I think I'll put some purple down. Now it's funny about this purple, it looks kind of like a different kind of blue. So you might want to check and see if you like that color purple. If not, guess what you can do? You could actually put your pink over your purple, and you could change the kind of purple it is. So don't be afraid to try to put one color on top of another to see what kind of color it'll make. Well, I've got some red on here. How about some green? I'm gonna put some green over here. And this is really starting to look like an artist painter's palette. I'm gonna put some yellow. And now we talked about maybe mixing colors, right? Why don't I put another drop of yellow right here and pick another color I might wanna mix into it. How about if I take this orange and let's see how different it might look from the first orange. Well, it definitely looks a little different. Maybe not a lot different. Let's see if I put the yellow one more time over it. Now it's starting to look a little different. So go ahead and experiment with that. See if you like it. It's not going to ruin anything. So I also have a gray marker, and since I wanted this to look three-dimensional, I'm just going to go ahead and color in this shape right here. And now I've got my painter's palette. So what other kind of things might I need if I'm going to be painting with a palette? Well, I would think I'm going to need to have a paintbrush, right? So let's see. I am going to make a few red paintbrushes. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the bottom part of my paintbrush shape. I've got one brush. Maybe I'm going to give myself two brushes. So I've got my two paintbrushes and I'm coloring it in. Now sometimes with paintbrushes, they might have a little piece of metal. So I'm going to add that to my paintbrush. This way, when you see it, you'll know that you're looking at a paintbrush. Now, paintbrush needs some bristles. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't have brown. So I'm going to make it with yellow bristles. And I think that looks pretty cool. Now, if I wanted to make it look like the bristles were kind of separated, I could put some orange stripes on top. So I've got my palette. I've got some paintbrushes. What are other things I might use as an artist? Maybe I would use a canvas and I would have a picture on it, right? So let's go ahead and draw something really cool on our picture. So I think I'm gonna make, let's see, maybe I'm gonna make a little garden painting. I'm gonna put in some grass, and then I wanna have some flowers in my garden, right? So let's see, first I'm gonna put down my little yellow dots, and those are gonna be the inside of my flowers. I'll put a few right here. I'll put them all over. And then I'll go ahead and take my pink pen, and I'll go ahead around my yellow dot, and I'll color in my flowers. Do you see how this is starting to become a design of things that I really like to do as an artist? What other kind of things might I use as an artist? Maybe I could build something out of clay, right? I could draw a little sculpture of some kind. What would be a fun kind of sculpture to draw? Like a hand with a design on it? That might be really cool. So I want you to think about that. When you're thinking about all the things that you like to do for fun, I want you to think about it ahead of time before you start doing all your drawing. And think about the things that you want to include on your backpack, or not your backpack, your tote bag. So now I'm going to go ahead, I want to add some clouds. So the way I make clouds is I make my cloud shape, I outline it, right? And then I just go ahead and I color around my outline so that the inside of my cloud is white and the outside of my cloud is blue like the sky. And I'm going to go around all my flowers. So this is just one of the ways that you might think about coloring in something. You make an outline and then you color all around and inside that outline. That's always helped me with coloring in the past. So it might be a fun way to try things if you want to stay neat. Nobody says you have to. Okay, well, my sky is almost done. It's looking pretty good. And I said I wanted to do some kind of sculpture. I said, maybe I'll do a hand. Oh, look at this, I forgot a few flowers. Well, I caught it before, so I'm gonna add them. Here we go, I have those yellow dots, right? And I've got my piece of art. So that's two things that an artist would use. Other things might be scissors, right? We might use scissors. You could use glue. But first, let's do that sculpture of our hand. So I think I'll just go ahead and I'll put the hand right here. So a hand has 5 fingers, right? Now, if I want to make it look like it's a sculpture, I'm going to make it look like it's 3-dimensional. So I'm going to go all around the outside, and I make it look 3-dimensional. So I'm going to go ahead and color in the sides just so somebody can see that I'm trying to say that this is a piece of sculpture. Now, sculptures can be lots of different ways. We could color them in, we could leave it alone. I think I'd like to color mine in. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add some circles. I tend to like circles a lot. I love polka dots. So far, we have a sculpture, we have a piece of art, we've got the palette with paints, we've got the paint brushes, and I think I'm gonna add maybe just one more thing. I think I'll add a bottle of glue. And then, you know what? Just like I did on the front, I wrote, I love camping. This time I think I'm gonna write, I love art. So that could be a lot of fun. So let's see, where do I wanna put that? And how do I wanna put that? So I think I'm gonna outline it in the black. I'm gonna go over anywhere I've outlined something. If I don't feel like it's dark enough, I can just go right over it a second time, a third time. Doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna write I in nice big blocky letters. I. And I'm gonna put love. And I can say art. And I can color in those letters in all kinds of fun ways. I can make them striped if I wanted. That could be a fun idea, right? I can make each letter a different kind of pattern. So think about that. If you're putting lettering, let's say you want to put your name on it, think about how you can decorate each letter a little differently. So go ahead and do that if you like. And I can make each letter a different color if I wanted. I can make my L pink. Now, when you're all done with all your coloring, I want you to go back to your supplies and pick out another patch that would look super cool and see if you want to add it. Now, I have this patch that I really like, and guess what? It's a heart with some knitting needles, which is perfect for talking about making art. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue right there on my patch. I wanna make sure and put the glue on all the parts that need to stick down. And again, I don't want it to be dripping, but I wanna make sure I have enough that it's really gonna stick. And I'm gonna pick it up and decide where it might look really good. And I think right here would look super good. Now you can also pick out some of your pretty jewels, and you can put jewels all around it, and that could look great too. But just like all our other projects, I want you, when you're done and everything has had a chance to dry, have your mom or dad or your parent just go ahead and blow dry it for between 3 and 5 minutes, and that way it'll be heat set and you'll be good to go. So here is what I did today. I'm going to back up a little. And this is my I Love Art side of my tote bag. And here is the I Love Camping side of my tote bag. So I am eager to hear what you guys made with your pretty tote bag. So feel free to share it. I hope you had a great time with this tutorial, and I will see you again for more fashion arts. Take care. Bye-bye.